All right, welcome back to the Green Rush Live. I'm Josh Kincaid from the Talking Hedge. We got Doug Miller here as well. We're going to have a good guest on as well, Kerri Accardi. She's a founder and CEO of 420 Media. But before she jumps on, we're going to chat briefly about ChatGPT. What does AI say about the cannabis industry? Obviously, lots of issues. I'm on the West Coast, you're on the East Coast. So we've been going through a lot of issues for a long time, and you guys are now going through those issues. So always fun to reflect on pain points, just not only to try to help people out, but avoid pitfalls, right? So if you're going through it, we can help you. And obviously, if you're paying attention, you can avoid those things. So current issues with cannabis media specifically is sensationalism. So saying a lot of these news stories are just about sensational rather than topics providing balance or accurate information. Lack of diversity, misinformation, stereotyping, legal restrictions, and then advertising influence are issues. So I don't know. What kind of issues are you seeing in Jersey right now?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, hey, Kerri.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very
Good.
good.
Sorry about that.
It's
New
all right.
computer, new stuff, new place. How you doing?
Good. You're with us, Kerri Accardi, founder, CEO, 420 Media. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah.
You were in Arizona, right? But you're that's not an Arizona accent. You're from New York, but you've done a lot of time. I met you in Washington. You've been in the industry for a really long time. So wanted to bring you on and chat about things that you've seen. So we were just going to talk about like Chat GPT because there's issues that have happened in the West Coast that the East Coast can avoid if they're paying attention, if they want to, even though most of them probably won't. And we're just going to see a repeat of that.
Well, let's hope not, Josh.
Well, yeah, let's hope not. Let's hope they're paying attention to us, right? I mean, there's a lot of media outlets out there putting out really good information that have solutions to issues that we've seen firsthand. So there's no excuses, basically. There's plenty of information out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the issues you're seeing in Arizona? I know you just got there. I don't know if you maybe want to briefly chat about either New York or Arizona. Are there any things that you've seen that echo from the past in terms of media restrictions and limitations?
Actually, Arizona's got a great market here, and they're doing really well. They have a meetup called Meta every month, and they have thousands of people that show up to that event. And it's from what I noticed, it's like a mix, Josh, between old school and legalization both. So you still get to have like the culture and you get to hang out with people and you're engaging in ideas and it still's got that like fun buzz, but they're very legal. They're making hand over fist here. Herb isn't so good yet, but I think that will change in time. And I think Arizona is a really cool market. And I think, they're, even by doing this event and doing different podcasts and stuff, they're using what they can for media to get their brands out.
And that's a really good. So we met at a very similar event. I think it was MJBA, Marijuana Business Association.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some of those that are out there. Cannabis Lab is kind of based out of like, I guess, Miami now.
Yeah, I think they're in Florida. Yeah, I went to one of their first ones like 100 years ago, it feels like.
Yeah, so these are pretty good ways of people to get their name out and stomp the ground, right? But I guess during COVID they weren't able to, so people have really had to go digital and find other ways of getting their word out. What are some things out there that you've seen creative, unique, available, all of that good stuff?
Well, I mean, without talking about ourselves and how awesome our content and opportunities are, I think that.
Now your dog is letting you know that was a softball throw up for you to talk about some of the things that you're involved with. Kerri's been around for a long time, has a lot of media. So in addition to 420 Media, she's got an app. She's got a company called Canna TV, a lot of content. Super Bowl, Marvin Washington on there with cannabis, talking about active cannabis lifestyle and football and stuff. So I
Well,
was
Josh, you
setting you
didn't
up for that.
introduce me to your co-host properly.
We haven't done that yet.
Oh, that's all right. I am Doug Miller. How are you doing?
Hi, Doug. I'm great. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. And I was checking out your platform. It's awesome. I was watching some videos earlier, and yeah,
Oh,
we
cool.
we do want to talk about that platform because I do want to give you some plugs, and it's a really cool platform. You have a lot of educational information on there, and yeah, tell us about how you really got to that platform because I saw you build an app for it, and you really are pushing it along. So I want to hear a little more about that.
Yeah, well, it's kind of has to do with the East Coast. Originally, I left New York December 10th, 2013, on a mission to educate the world about cannabis after my aunt died. So it started really personal. I'm a cannabis consumer or patient since I'm very young, and it's really helped with my health and other things. And so I've always known about the plant. And then I was lucky to know someone that owned a collective, was what they called dispensaries at the time in Northern California, and I started there. And so it really was, at first it was before you can educate others, is you have to educate myself and really understand what is this layout. And that's kind of when, I started in Cali, went to Oregon, and then ended up in Washington when Josh and I connected. I think Josh, it was like 2014 or 15 area. And so, yeah, it was really just as still is a mission to truly reach the people looking for the medicine or the plant to use for whatever reason they want to, whether it's hemp on building a house or skincare, or using the plant for health, or to just take the edge off. And so I think that this information has been blocked for a long time. My background is production. I'm a director, I'm a producer, I'm a trained actor. So it wasn't something I just started when I moved into this space. And so when I came in, after my friend, when I started, told me I was the worst trimmer he ever met, I realized that I should probably stay in my lane, right? And so that's how it really started. And it really just became a fight, to be honest with you, because using media, like when Josh and I met, is, this is an ever changing landscape still 9 years later, just ever changing. And you have this a tornado of different people, from patients to businessmen to politicians and medical professionals. And so people just don't really understand. And to really understand the plant is to understand the history first and foremost, and then to understand how we got here. And I think that that's often overlooked, even still to this day. And so that's really what it began. We started filming early on. We have 8 years of professionally filmed content since 2014 that will be released on the platform. And in that time, I also had, I personally went through experiences with television. We had what they call an agency of record with CBS. So back in 2015 and 16, we were supposed to be airing cannabis content that was contractual. And then CBS reneged on that in 2016, about a week after the election. So that's going into a documentary. So it's still coming out, it's just coming out in a different way. And we'll see what they think about that. What that did was it gave me real insight that this information was being blocked, and it was purposely being blocked. And it was purposely being blocked across all sorts of levels. And in the same time, there was this divide constantly being created on very local levels, like in Seattle or in Washington, as well as in California and in Oregon. And so watching this whole thing play out the way it is has been interesting, to say the least, and really enlightening. At the end of the day, people still need the education. they need the information, and now brands are growing and they realize that they need the resources to reach the consumers. And so this is where Connected really comes in. And right now we have a lot of content. As you saw, Marv Washington's a Super Bowl champion. He's a host of one of our programs called The Fifth Quarter, which really delves into endocannabinoid system and athletes and cannabis. We have really cool animation. We have a holiday series that came out last in December that really told the story from Santa's point of view of, you know, understanding why people want the plant, and gave real insight to legalization and how we got there. So I suggest definitely watching that. And right now we're about to launch a Canna guide, which opens it up for brands to actually put themselves on TV and speak directly to their consumers through digital content or static ads, like magazine ads with QR codes. So then people can then go scan that QR code. We're all staying compliant, and then you're keeping that consumer as well as the data involved. So it's the game for me never changes. Let's educate the world about cannabis, and how do we do that with this post that keeps moving and landscape that keeps changing. And now we're here, so now it's gotten a lot more fun.
No, that's an awesome, interesting story, and we have a lot of similarities because I lost my mom to cancer in 2016. She was actually one of the first medical patients in New Jersey. We had one dispensary at the time. It was called Compassionate Science, and now it's what Curaleaf owns. And yeah, she never smoked a day in her life. I've been in the legacy market. I'm 42 since I was 15. I can count on both hands how many days in my entire life I haven't smoked. So I loved the cannabis plant. And there was a major reason why. I had really bad allergies. And when I was 15, I smoked, and it was the first thing ever that ever relieved my allergies immediately. And I was like, this is something amazing. And I'll tell you what, I've been a pothead ever since, and I've been very happy to say it. And I've always been pro cannabis, and I never liked alcohol. I always thought everything else was garbage. And here you just fast forward. It's funny. I have a lot of friends that were big drinkers into everything, and now they all consume cannabis, and they all say, "I get it. Why you always did this?" Like, and it makes a lot of sense. You were able to work 7 days a week, 15 hours a day, and really go after your goals and achieve things. And you can't really do that with alcohol. You don't find many people that drink that have that kind of ambition or can even get up the next morning and do things like that. And cannabis allowed me to do it my entire life, still to this day. And yeah, I'm proud of it. So, and I've watched it help people medically, just like you were saying, medicinally. You have to help people and teach them the plant. And I actually make oils that stop seizures, and I work with doctors and help people all over the place. And it's a beautiful thing when you can see that doctors give them pharmaceutical medicine, gives out pharmaceutical medicines to patients, and it doesn't help. And then you give them cannabis, it just grows out of the ground, and you literally do your own extractions. You know, everything is very safe. And then it stops people's seizures, and they go to these doctors and they're just amazed. They're like, wow, that's amazing. And it's like, no, it's not. It's because this stuff actually works, and the stuff that you're giving them is garbage. It's one compound of garbage, and it's just not made to work. And yeah, it's awesome that you were that passionate about it and took it to that next level. And you have this literally an entire enterprise about cannabis and helping people. It's an amazing story. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm sorry to hear about your mom, and
Oh.
and really glad to hear that you're following that path too. I think it, like, for me, I know it's like a higher power for sure, because if it was just like, honestly, if it was just to come in here and make money or friends, I would have quit a long time ago. It's really hard industry to be in. But the power of the plant is just, it keeps us going, right? And it connects
Keeps
us
you
all,
driven.
which is beautiful.
No, it does. It keeps you driven because there's a passion, and you see how it helps people. And when you can help people, it's important. And that's what it's all about. And that's how I was raised too. I was raised to help people, and I still help my neighbors and everybody. And again, I work with people and try to help them help their ailments, or help them have a quality of life at the end of their lives when people are not are terminally ill, and they're just feeding them pharmaceutical medicine that's really making them worse. It's making them more sick. They can't eat. It just reacts with their body, and then they all counter react with each other. And cannabis is just natural. You can give it to them in different forms. You can oils and tinctures or gummies, and yeah, it's just amazing. And yeah, I was watching, like I said, I was watching a few of the videos on the medical on your thing. I was like, well, that's really good content. And I agree. Everybody should really know about it, and it should be taught and not looked down upon.
Do you know about Ryan's Law, you guys? It's in
No, please inform
California.
us.
Yeah, so Ryan's Law is in California, and it passed, I think it was last year, that now hospitals in California are required to allow cannabis patients to have supervision using cannabis if they're in hospice. So definitely look into it, because I know they're also spreading it across the country. I'm on a board of a nonprofit. The father, his name's Jim Bartels, was the father of a son who passed away, who started it. His son was Ryan, and he was using cannabis in a hospital. It was giving him benefit, and he wasn't able to use it properly. They were giving him a hard time. He had to transfer, and nonetheless, he ended up passing away in his 40s. And his father really fought hard alongside of some nurses, and I think Ken Sobel, Josh, and Heather
Yeah.
Manus, and
Yeah.
Jana Champagne. So definitely look into that. It's just amazing. I love to see that in New Jersey and New York. I
Me
love it.
too. Honestly, I will absolutely look into it. My middle name is actually Ryan, so it
Is
means something
it?
to me. And yeah, I will be looking into it for sure because I believe in it myself. It's important, and yeah, I explain every day because I'm always talking to people about how great cannabis is, and I say, listen, you have an endocannabinoid system, and it's proven like you actually need these cannabinoids. It helps your life. And I'm like, I'm 42, I do pretty well, and I've been smoking a lot. I'm not a drinker or anything else. And I said, like, look, it does work. And some people catch on, but it's hard. Some people are just in that mindset that it's bad for you, and it's hard to change some people's minds. But I love your educational content that you're providing because you're making that difference in the cannabis industry.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot. It really means a lot. Thank you. And so are you guys by putting this information out.
And that's what we try to do. We work as a team, and like you said, it's all teamwork, and we try to educate people and answer questions and really guide people in the right direction and really help them out in this industry, because like you said, it's one of the hardest businesses or industries to have a business. And people, they think because hey, it's cannabis and a lot of money is produced in the entire industry, there's tons and tons of companies, and people don't understand the overhead of really what it costs to run a cannabis company, because it's not like any other business. And then you can't use banks, so that makes it way harder for everything.
Huge, right? That like a huge component to that whole business thing is that whole bank everyone else in the world has.
That
So
throws a little wrench.
I asked Chat GPT. We've only got about 5 minutes left, so I want to ask this last question for you, Kerri, and see what you think. I asked Chat GPT, listing the reasons why top performing cannabis companies are doing so well. Number one was strong branding and marketing. Maybe not a surprise to based on this conversation. Access to capital is on there and obvious. Compliance and regulations, we've seen a lot of people fail that didn't really appreciate that. And then innovation, right? So those are four things that companies are doing well. Is there anything within that or that it's missing that you kind of wanted to highlight? I mean, number one was strong branding and marketing. I think that's kind of speaks for itself.
I love Chat GPT too. Isn't it
It's fun.
such a cool tool? Yeah, I think that's exactly right. But I think it's in those headings that's where the juice is, and that's where the gold is, right? What are you doing to market? What are you doing to reach your consumer? And this this misinformation that you either can't advertise or that you have to spend a gazillion dollars when, fact of the matter is there's more podcasts now than ever. There's more events now than ever. There's more local businesses involved now than ever. So, like you spoke of, Josh, as we met at the MJBA, and back in 2014, that's exactly what they were doing, is coming together on a local level. We'd get on stage, introduce ourselves, have a good laugh. And, we were able to build in that local. And then when you build in the local, you also can build in the social, and then you start to go in an outside events. And so I think focusing, to really, I think if people, stay focused on what their product is too, and who they're trying to reach, right? And I think everyone's like, oh, I want to raise money and I want to do this, and they are raising money and they're losing it, like a lot of it. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a good product, right? And like we spoke about yesterday, you and I, Josh, is that, you could come into the industry with all the money in the world, but you don't know how to grow weed, you're done for. You're buying marble floors when you need dirt, right? You're the wrong people and you're spending all of this money that's unnecessary, and you're hurting people. You're hurting the very people that brought this here. So, my suggestion to those MSOs and any retailer independent is connect with these farmers, man, connect with these legacy players and work something out where you can work together, because I think you're going to save money and you're going to bring that consumer the best product that they're looking for. And it's not about a high, it's about what that's making each of us feel, because your high is going to be different than what I get high or feel good. And I think, innovation is amazing in the cannabis industry. I cannot understand why people keep making gummies that look like gummies and they're the same thing. Like, come on, man, get innovative, right? There's like everything in the world you can make with cannabis right now. There's a restaurant here. I haven't gone. It's a dispensary. I think it's called The Mint. Ray Molino, I think is his name. They have a kitchen where you can get food that's infused, like real food, fries and like food. So I think that's pretty cool. I think people are sleeping on hemp right now. I think really, like, again, in the clothing, in the housing, I think they just passed that into the housing codes as well. So all these like new markets are opening. I just confirmed I'm working on a 420 conference in the Virgin Islands that we'll be announcing next week. So again, super innovative. You've got tourists, you've got islanders. So I would love to see people make me want to come to your town to explore that cannabis journey. And don't everyone try to be like California, be like yourselves, and then maybe get the farmers that you might need from California to help you grow to the best in your environment, knowing that the knowledge that they have, right? And the connections to the good genetics and all that good stuff. So
you got a lot of knowledge. You got a lot of shows about genetics and a lot of stuff. If people want more information and get more connected, where can they do that at?
So everyone download Connected TV, please. And you can get the links at connected, CANNECTED.TV. We're across Roku, Apple, Android, Amazon Fire, all the smart TVs, except Samsung. So to Samsung, they denied us. So Connected TV, 420media.us is the marketing agency. My name is Kerri Accardi. You can reach me on LinkedIn, or Kerri at 420media.us. And that's my email.
Brilliant. Well, thanks again. I'm Josh Kincaid from the Talking Hedge. This is the Green Rush Cannabis Business Talk Show produced by Pro Cannabis Media, where we discuss news, issues in the cannabis market, and each week conduct a deep dive into specific topics in the industry like cannabis media. We got Doug Miller every week. Got to come back for next week's topic, though, between 4 and 6 Eastern. But until then, I think we're out of here. Y'all have a great weekend. With that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is The Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.